Sunder, a young lion cub with a golden brown coat and a small tuft of dark mane, stands nervously at the edge of the great grasslands. His large, expressive amber eyes look around cautiously. The tall grass sways gently around him, the setting sun casting a warm glow over the savanna. In the distance, other animals, zebras, antelopes, and playful lion cubs laugh and roar, enjoying the freedom of the evening. Sunder watches them enviously but doesn't join in. He takes a step back, hiding behind a large rock, his ears drooping slightly. A gentle breeze rustles the leaves of a nearby acacia tree, making Sunder jump slightly. "Why am I always so scared?" he whispers to himself. He looks down at his small paws and sighs, wishing he could be as brave as the other lions. His best friend, Leela the cheetah cub, notices him from a distance and pads over quietly. "What's wrong, Sunder?" she asks softly, her eyes filled with concern. "You don't have to hide. You're braver than you think." Sunder gives a small smile, but doubt still lingers in his eyes. As the sun dips below the horizon, a strange shadow begins to creep across the savanna. The animals stop their games and look around in confusion. The air grows colder, and the sky darkens unnaturally, even though the stars have just begun to peek out. Suddenly, a large, slithering shape appears in the distance, a giant serpent made entirely of shadows, its eyes glowing a menacing red. It moves silently through the tall grass, its body coiling and uncoiling like a living nightmare. The animals freeze in fear. The Shadow Serpent's low, rumbling hiss echoes across the plains, making even the bravest lions take a step back. "Beware, creatures of the savanna! I am the Shadow Serpent, and I have come to take over your land," it hisses. Sunder crouches low, his heart racing. He glances at Leela, who looks just as terrified. What can we do?" he stammers, his small body trembling. Leela shakes her head, her voice barely a whisper. "I don't know, Sunder, but someone has to stop it." The lion elders, wise, strong lions with thick manes and powerful roars, gather at the base of the great rock. The other animals crowd around nervously, their eyes wide with fear. The Shadow Serpent's presence has cast a dark shadow over everyone's hearts. King Roar, the largest and most powerful lion, steps forward. His deep, booming voice echoes through the air. "This creature threatens our home. But how do we defeat something made of shadows?" he growls, his eyes narrowed in frustration. The other lions murmur in agreement, their faces grim. "It's too powerful. What if it attacks us? What if it can't be stopped?" Sunder listens from the back, his ears flattening against his head as he hears the lion's fearful words. Leela nudges Sunder gently. "Maybe you should say something," she whispers. Sunder looks at her in disbelief. "Me? What can I do? I'm just small," he murmurs, but a tiny spark of determination lights in his eyes as he watches the worried animals around him. As the council meeting drags on without a solution, a soft, melodic voice interrupts. "Perhaps I can help." The animals turn to see a small, glowing bird perched on a nearby tree branch. It's the oracle bird, a mystical creature said to know all the secrets of the savanna. The oracle bird flutters down gracefully, her feathers shimmering like moonlight. "The Shadow Serpent can only be defeated by a roar filled with courage and truth," she says softly. Her words hang in the air, leaving everyone silent. King Roar frowns. "A roar? What kind of roar could defeat that monster? He asks doubtfully. The oracle bird's eyes sparkle. Not just any roar. It must come from someone who truly believes in their own strength, no matter how small they are, she explains. Sunder's heart skips a beat. He looks around, expecting someone to step forward. But no one does. The elders exchange worried glances, and the other animals shift uneasily. Leela nudges him again. Maybe it could be you, Sunder, she whispers. That night, Sunder sits alone at the edge of the savannah, gazing up at the starry sky. The Shadow Serpent's threat looms over him, its dark shape slithering just out of sight. He shivers, feeling tiny and powerless. Leela joins him quietly, sitting beside him. You heard what the oracle said, she murmurs gently. The roar has to come from someone who believes in themselves. I believe in you, Sunder. Do you? Sunder looks at her, his eyes wide and uncertain. But I'm scared, Leela. What if I fail? What if I can't do it? He whispers, his voice trembling. Leela smiles softly. Being brave doesn't mean not being scared. It means standing up even when you are. Sunder takes a deep breath, staring out into the darkness. Slowly, determination replaces his fear. I have to try, he murmurs. He stands up, his small frame silhouetted against the moonlight. For the savannah, for everyone. The next morning, Sunder steps forward as the Shadow Serpent coils menacingly around the great rock. The other animals watch in stunned silence as the tiny cub stands alone before the massive, terrifying creature. Well, what's this? A tiny cub thinks he can face me? The serpent hisses, its red eyes gleaming with malice. Sunder gulps but forces himself to stand tall, his amber eyes fixed on the serpent. You don't scare me, he says softly, his voice shaking slightly. I may be small, but I have something you don't. I have courage. The serpent rears back, its laughter echoing like thunder. Courage? You? Pathetic! It sneers. Sunder closes his eyes, taking a deep breath. He can feel the fear swirling inside him, but he pushes it aside, focusing on the warmth of his friend's support and the strength he's been searching for all along. I can do this, he whispers to himself. Summoning every ounce of bravery he has, Sunder opens his mouth and lets out a roar, a small, trembling sound at first, but it grows louder and stronger with each breath. The ground shakes, and the golden light begins to glow around him. The serpent's eyes widen as the roar reverberates through the air, filling the savannah with a powerful, pure sound. No! Stop! It hisses, rising in pain as the light from Sunder's roar pierces its shadowy form. Sunder's roar intensifies, his tiny body glowing brightly. The serpent shrieks, its body unraveling like mist caught in the wind. I am not afraid of you, Sunder cries, his roar echoing across the savannah. With a final, desperate screech, the Shadow Serpent dissolves into nothingness, leaving only a faint wisp of darkness behind. The savannah falls silent, and the golden light around Sunder fades gently. As the darkness fades, the animals stare in stunned silence, still processing what just happened. Then, slowly, a cheer erupts from the crowd. Sunder did it! He beat the Shadow Serpent. The savannah fills with the joyful roars, chirps, and howls of every creature. Leela rushes forward, her eyes sparkling with pride and joy. You did it, Sunder! You really did it! She exclaims, nuzzling him affectionately. Sunder stands there, panting softly, his eyes wide with disbelief and relief. King Roar steps forward, his massive form towering over the small cub. "You've shown true bravery, little one," he rumbles, his deep voice filled with respect. "You've saved us all." Sunder blushes under the praise, his ears flicking nervously. The animals left Sunder onto their shoulders, carrying him around the great rock in celebration. Sunder's heart swells with pride and happiness as he looks around at the smiling faces of his friends and family. Maybe I'm braver than I thought," he murmurs softly. King Roar steps forward again, raising his mighty paw for silence. The savannah falls quiet as the great lion clears his throat. "Today, we honor a new hero of the savannah," he announces grandly. "Sunder, the smallest but bravest cub among us." The lion elders gather around, each one bowing their heads respectfully to Sunder. "You taught us all a lesson in courage," says one of the elders, his eyes soft with admiration. "True bravery comes from within, no matter how small you are." Sunder gazes up at the elders, his heart pounding. "Thank you," he says softly, his voice trembling with emotion. "But I couldn't have done it without everyone's support, especially Leela's." He glances at his friend, who grins proudly. King Roar smiles, his eyes warm. "From this day forward, you will be known as Sunder the Brave," he declares. A cheer rises from the animals, echoing across the plains. "Sunder the Brave!" they chant joyfully, filling the savannah with their voices. That night, the savannah comes alive with celebration. The animals gather around a large bonfire, the flames casting a warm glow over the great rock. Sunder sits beside Leela, watching as the zebras and antelopes dance to the beat of the drums. The lions sing their powerful songs, and even the shy animals like the meerkats and rabbits join in, their voices blending harmoniously. The stars twinkle brightly overhead, as if joining in the celebration. Sunder's parents, a proud lioness and a dignified older lion, nuzzle him gently. "We're so proud of you, Sunder," his mother murmurs softly. His father nods, his eyes glistening with pride. "You've made us all proud." Sunder beams up at them, feeling warmth spread through his chest. "Thank you, Mama. Thank you, Papa," he says softly. He looks around at his friends and the happy animals and realizes that he's finally found his place in the savannah. Just as the celebrations reach their peak, a chilling wind blows through the savannah. The animals pause, their laughter fading as a familiar, sinister hiss fills the air. "You thought you could defeat me?" The voice echoes ominously. A dark mist begins to gather in the center of the clearing, swirling and twisting until it forms the shape of the Shadow Serpent once more. The animals gasp and step back, fear flickering in their eyes. Sunder stands frozen, his heart pounding. "I am eternal," the serpent hisses, its red eyes glowing menacingly. "You cannot destroy the shadows so easily." The celebration falls silent as the serpent looms over the terrified animals. Sunder takes a deep breath, his paws trembling. But he steps forward, his eyes blazing with determination. "You can't scare us anymore," he shouts, his small voice carrying across the clearing. "Because we're not afraid of you." Sunder's bravery sparks something in the others. Leela steps up beside him, her small body quivering but her eyes fierce. "We are not afraid," she cries, her voice drawn. One by one, the other animals step forward, forming a protective circle around Sunder. King Roar joins them, his powerful roar echoing through the savannah. "We stand with Thunder," he roars. The other lions roar in agreement, their voices blending into a powerful, unified sound. The serpent recoils, its form flickering. "No, this cannot be," it hisses, its voice trembling. The light from the bonfire glows brighter, casting the serpent's shadow into sharp relief. Thunder raises his head, his amber eyes glowing. "You only have power over us if we let fear control us. But we're not afraid anymore," he shouts. The animals cheer, their courage shining like a beacon in the darkness. The serpent lunges, its shadowy form swirling menacingly. But Thunder stands firm, his eyes locked on the creature. With a deep breath, he lets out another roar stronger and clearer than before. This time, the other lions join in, their roars blending with Thunder's to create a wall of sound. The ground shakes, and a bright, golden light explodes from Thunder's small body, pushing the serpent back. The serpent wrists and twists, its form breaking apart as the light envelops it. "No, I will not be defeated," it shrieks, its voice growing fainter and fainter. With one final roar, Thunder and the lions release a powerful wave of light. The serpent's form shatters like glass, dissolving into tiny specks of darkness that are swept away by the wind. The savannah falls silent, and then a cheer erupts. As the first rays of dawn break over the horizon, the savannah is filled with a sense of peace and hope. The animals gather around Thunder, their eyes shining with gratitude and admiration. King Roar steps forward, bowing his head to the small cup. "Thunder, you have shown us all the true meaning of bravery. You stood against the darkness, not with size or strength, but with courage and heart," he says softly. Thunder looks up at him, his heart swelling with pride and humility. "I couldn't have done it without everyone," he murmurs. "We were brave together." The sun rises higher, bathing the savannah in the warm, golden light. The shadows have vanished, and the savannah is alive with the sound of animals celebrating. "You are truly Thunder the Brave," King Roar declares, his voice filled with pride. As the morning sun shines brightly, Thunder sits atop the great rock, looking out over the peaceful savannah. Leela sits beside him, her eyes sparkling. "You really did it, Thunder. You're a true hero," she says softly, nuzzling him gently. Thunder smiles, his amber eyes glowing with happiness. "I'm not just brave because I defeated the serpent," he says thoughtfully. "I'm brave because I believed in myself, even when I was scared. And I wasn't alone. We were brave together." The animals of the savannah gather below the great rock, looking up at Thunder with admiration and pride. "From now on, I won't just be Thunder the Small," he announces, his voice carrying across the plains. "I'll be Thunder the Brave." As the animals cheer and celebrate, Thunder feels a deep sense of peace and belonging. He stands tall beside his friends and family, knowing that no matter what challenges come next, he'll face them with courage, heart, and the support of everyone around him. The moral of Thunder and the Courageous Roar is that true courage comes not from being fearless, but from facing your fears head on. Even the smallest creatures can achieve great things when they believe in themselves and never give up. Bravery is about using your voice, no matter how small, to stand up for what's right and to protect others.
Thanks for watching, kids. If you enjoyed the adventure, make sure to subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and click the bell icon to never miss a new story. See you next time.